Yo, we're in.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Yo, what's good,
Yo,
bro?
Shteigin.
What's up,
What's
man?
up?
What's up, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, bro. How's your travels?
So far, so good. Romania, very fun. Zipping
Yeah,
around Romania on a scooter.
no way.
Okay, so first, I want to dedicate this year to my grandma who's in the hospital. She for Shalema for Chaya Ana Bas Rezel.
Amen.
For Shalema Meher B'Yameinu.
Amen.
Second of all, so this is what we're doing this man in yeshiva, and so we're just like kind of like figuring it out, getting started on season. Are we on season 4 of Shteigin there?
Is it season 4 already, bro?
It's either season 4 or season 3.
We'll have to look into the archives.
Yeah.
Verify.
Whatever we have. Yo, do we have the share that I was giving? Whatever. We don't have to ask about that now. Yo, Patrice, you want to put your video on?
Yo, what's up, everyone?
Yo,
Hey,
what's up?
Patrizio, what's up, man?
What's up?
Galactic, bro?
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
we'll edit this part out of the shear.
Maybe we'll leave it in. I could, whatever. We'll see. But we only have like 40 minutes, right? Okay.
Yeah, on this one.
The masechta we're doing today is maseches Avoda Zara, right? Idolatry, learning about like the idolaters, learning about the shibud. This is the next move in the sugya. We've been learning the sugya of the shibud since the pandemic started, and now this is Avoda Zara. Now, when we're talking about people who are Oved Avoda Zara, who are idolatrous, we're not just talking about like non-Jews. We're talking about like people who sacrifice their kids to idolatry, whether they're Jewish or not, right? It's not about like that stuff. People get that confused a lot / intentionally, and they say that, right? And also, a lot of times, like modernish translations or modernish Gemaras, they'll take out akum, like, and they'll just put in goyim, right? And the reason that they did that, exactly, not lav dafka modernish, but like the real stark Gemaras bring it back to Avoda Zara. But the reason they did that was because the censors, the Shibud has been censoring us for a long time. The Shibud took parts of the Gemara out. Okay. So says the Mishnah. The first thing the Mishnah is going to tell us about Avoda Zara. Lifnei eideyem shel ovdei kochavim shlosha yamim. 3 days before the holidays of idolaters. Asur laseis v'laseis imahem. It's usher to do business with them. Lehashilan bilish omehen. To lend them anything and to borrow from them. Lehalvasan v'lilavos mehen. To borrow and to borrow from them and to borrow to them, and then it's like lehalvasam is like there's the lending and then there's the borrowing, and you can't do it. Leforan, to pay them back, and lefra mehen, and to get paid back from the idolaters, from like the shibud people, Baal Gates we call them. There's also Bilam Gates, but also Baal Gates, because Baal, the Satanists. All of Avoda Zara is Satan. It's worshiping Satan. I love that all of Avoda Zara. All the Avoda Zara of the Roman Empire, and there's just like a bunch of different and the Roman Empire took all the Avoda Zaras of Egypt and Greece and Persia, the Zoroastrians. So the Romans, they took all of the Avoda Zaras, and for them, it's all different paths to Satan, to worship Satan. This is something that we learned last time in Shteigin there, last Masechta in Chagiga. We said that Acher was Trey Rishuyos, and I spoke about this at the Georgia Guidestones, Rotten Pieces. We spoke about this at the Georgia Guidelines that the idea of trei reshuyos, of two different domains, and that's like an equal and opposite Satan, chas v'shalom, to a benevolent God, versus like how like the Torah looks at the Satan, Satan, as just another messenger of God, just another one of God's angels, right? Doesn't have power like of his own. There's only one rishus, there's only one domain. Okay. So so you can't pay them and you can't get paid back from them. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Nifra, no, you could let them pay you back. Because it's hard for him. He's losing money. He's going to pay back, right? So it seems that
That's Rebbe Meir.
Rabbi Yehuda.
Rebbe Yehuda says that. Okay.
So but
Thank you.
right now in the Mishnah, we don't know why you can't do any of this stuff. You can't do any business with them 3 days before their holiday, their idolatrous, they're idolatrous and pedo holidays. It's basically it might like when they do Avoda Zara, they're always like doing pedophilia goes with it, So 3 days before their pedo holidays, especially Molech, right? That's one of the ways. They don't have to sacrifice a kid and drink his blood to serve their God, to serve Satan, but that definitely is a feature in many of their activities. So he says you can get paid back from them. Why? Low. Because it sucks they have to give back money. Amru lo, they said to Rabbi Yehuda, even though right now it like is tsar, is difficulties, like it's like not good for them. But in the long run, when you pay back something that you owe, you're happy because now it's like off your mind, So it seems that what's this? That you don't want to like we don't want to make them happy. We don't want to make the idolaters happy. Well, guess what? I wouldn't want to make Jeffrey Epstein happy, even if it wasn't 3 days before he goes to Pedo Island to do his Avoda Zara, right? So I don't want to make Jeffrey Epstein happy. So why does it say 3 days before is like the limit? So that's the kasha we have on the Mishnah. You hear the kasha, Schlegs?
Can you break it down one more time for me?
Yeah, Patricia, you hear the question? Gone. Okay. And he's gone. And he's gone.
It's gone.
And he's gone. And he's gone. All right. So the question is like this, right? Like, what's with the 3 days before? What's shot in the 3 days before? That's the question. Like, if you're gonna tell me like, what is the reason for this at all? But that's in the Reisha, the beginning of the Mishnah. In the Seifa of the Mishnah, it says that the reason, Rav Yehuda seems to imply the reason is we don't want to make them happy. Well, guess what? I never want to make like pedos happy. So why is it 3 days before their pedo Lolita Express holidays? Why is it Dafka 3 days before?
Okay.
Zok Rashi. So that's the Mishnah, and we ask some questions. Okay. Zok Rashi. You can't do business with them. Says Rashi, the Kulu, Rashi, I'm going to say Pshat in all of these reasons. The Kulu, Mishum, the Azul, the Maida, the Avodas Kochavim Biyom Edo. The reason for all of them is because he's going to go and give thanks to his idols on the day of his. Another thing, the Gemara says, is he's sameach la'achar zman. It's like the next day he's happy. Okay. Rav Vishmua, we're starting the Gemara. By the way, Tosfos, brings that there's a different reason. Tosfos, we're not going to see the whole Tosfos, big Tosfos here. Tosfos says the reason that you can't you can't do business with them is because livnei iver. It's not about like it's not about like, oh, like they're gonna go and give thanks to their idol. It's because we're like they're gonna go and give things to their idol. We're gonna give them money, and we're gonna give them. I mean, there's no money back then, right? It was like doing business. You give them some food, you give them some, or maybe you can give them some mapeos, coins, but not like the money that we have today, fiat. So Tosma says the reason is litnei iver. You're gonna cause them to sin. So like they're gonna cause them to do idolatry. Right? Tosfos also asks, wait a second. Well, nowadays we're not makbid. Nowadays there's no such law like this. So Tosfos says the reason is because the akum shebeinenu, the Avoda Zara, the Avoda Zara that are around us, kimlan gavayo, we have like a kimli, we have like an establishment from them that the low polchu le'avoda zara, le'avodas kochavim, that they're not doing the idolatry. Zoom user in the flesh, we can see you now. It's rare. So shalom, Rabbi. This is a good crew. Okay, so we just did the Mishnah in Avoda Zara. Harry, you have maseches Avoda Zara?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Nice. So you can leave your camera, your video, your mic on. We can talk. You don't have to left after, right? Okay. So we said that 3 days before the holiday, you can't do any business with them. And Rashi says the reason is because then they're going to go and like give thanks to the Avoda Zara. And Tosfos says no, because livnei iver. One day in Tosfos, it's like yeah, because they're going to go give thanks to Avoda Zara, and therefore it's livnei iver. Rashi seems like he's mashma. It's mashma like Rashi because his mates are that the seifa is like, oh, you're allowed to get paid back from them. You're allowed to get paid back from them. Because like it's not good for them to give the money away. But yeah, but he's happy that at least he paid back the money, so he doesn't have like people clawing at him. You guys know about the claw?
Maven Yavin.
But yeah, he's happy that like he paid back and no one getting clawed at. Okay, fine. We also mentioned that we're talking about akum. It's not talking about like just non-Jews. That some people like want to say. It says not like talking about all non-Jews. It's talking about Epstein. It's talking about Maria Abramovich's. It's talking about Satanists, Ovdei Baal, Ovdei Molech, and like a lot of their avoda involves pedophilia and like adrenochrome, blood drinking. Okay. Rav Vishmuel says Zak the Hilga Gemara. Rav Vishmuel. Chad Amar Eidayan with an aleph. Vichad Tani Eidayan. Chad Tani Eidayan. So one Rav Vishmuel. There's a machlogas. When they wrote this Mishnah in the Zman of the Amoraim, what's the nusach? Is there an aleph or an ayin? Now we know aleph and ayin are interchangeable, or they're often darshaned and switched, and that's Yeshivas Gula Shaul is based on Sham Nigal Magen Giborim by Shaul with an ayin, and he's a Gula. Okay, so one of them says with an aleph, one of them says with an ayin. Man getani eidehem lo mishtabesh, man tani eidehem lo mishtabesh. So the guy who says with an aleph, it's good. The guy who says with an ayin, it's also good, right? Man tani eidehem with an aleph lo mishtabesh, because he says a pasuk kikarov yom edam. There's a pasuk in Devarim, right? Kikarov yom edam b'chash atidos lamo lina kam v'shilem le'ez tamut raglam. Talking about getting revenge and knocking down the idolaters, right? And it calls it Yom Edom, talking about their holiday. So Umanda Amar Eidein with an ayin is lo mishtabe. She's also good. Dechsiv Yitnu Eidein v'yitzdaku. Okay, this is a pasuk in Yeshayahu. It says Kol hagoyim nikbetzu. All of the goyim are going to gather yachtav together. The Yezvu leumim, and the nations are going to come together. Mi vahem yagid zos. Who of you are going to say this? Rishonos yishmiu yitnu edeim. They're going to give their edus v'yadzdiku, and they're going to be justified. Really, the idolaters are going to be justified. Very interesting pasuk. The yishmiu v'yomru emes. Wait, the idolaters are going to hear and say emes. What's going on? So, but it says Eidem, but it still says Eidem. It talks about Eidem with an aleph, talking about their testimonies, right? Like aid. Yidnu Eidem v'yitzdaku. Umandi dani Eidem, my time alo dani Eidem with an ayin. The aleph guy, why doesn't he say ayin? Amar lecha tavra adif. He was going to tell you that it's better to talk about a verse where it's talking about like tavra. We know, does anyone know tavra? Zoom user, Shlomo. Anyone have a svara on what tavra might mean?
Not sure. Could it be like from like creating, or to bless?
Okay, good vibe on the not sure part. But think about it. It's a tough instead of a shin in Aramaic, right?
So like break it.
Oh, breaking like shvira. So it's talking about ikr, like ikr tavra adif, like to slug them up, to break them, to break the idolaters. It's better to use a verse that's talking about the breaking of them.
Nice.
Tavra. Nice to you. And then umandan edein, my time alotani edein. Okay, so then the guy who says with an ayin, what's pshat? He doesn't do it with the aleph. What? He doesn't like slugging shibud. Loves it. Doesn't like fish sticks. Loves them. He doesn't love slugging shibud. Loves it. So why doesn't he use the aleph? So he says like this: Man kagarim lehu tavra. What causes them to be broken and slugged and destroyed, and for their shibud monuments to be blown up and hit by lightning? Who knows what was really going on with the Georgia guys in the Vatican? All we know was that we stagged there both places. Okay, so it says but it's the edus which caused them to be like slugged in the first place, right? It's the testimony that they gave on themselves. Hilkach, therefore, edus is adifa. The edus is better because it leads to the getting slugged of the shibud. V'hai yidnu eidem v'yitzdaku. Wait a second. They're going to give testimony and they're going to be vindicated and justified about idolaters. Habi Yisrael Ksiv. It's talking about Am Yisrael. The Amar Reishlak, Reshubin Levi. Ko mitzvah Yisrael osim be'olam hazeh. Every mitzvah that we do in olam hazeh, both umeidos lahem le'olam haba. It's going to come and give testimony for them in olam haba. Shenemar yitnu eidem v'yitzdaku el Yisrael. So when it says that they're going to give their testimony and be justified, Shubin Levi says the Pharaoh is talking about Am Yisrael. So what are you talking about? The guy who says that eidem with an ayin. And that's not how it is in the Mishnah, by the way. We don't pass it, but still. What's pshat? And then he says, so Yidnu they need to give their testimony and they'll be justified El Yisrael. Yishmu v'yomu emes, they will hear and say truth. Elu avoda kochavim. These are the idolaters. So Ella Amar Rav Huna. So then how could you tell me that Eidayan is talking about the Eidayan of the Akum? If the Eidayan, the testimony part of the pasuk is talking about Israel. So Ella Amar Rav Huna Breder of Yoshua Manda Amar Eidayan Mehacha. No, so you're right. The guy who says Eidayan is coming from a different pasuk. He's in this pasuk. He says, Yotrei Pesel, those who make pesels, who make their idols. Kulam tohu, they're all nothingness and vapidities and chaos. V'chamudeim, and things they love, bal yo'ilu. Like things that they love, the idols don't help, and they will give testimony in the end of days, right? That or they are their testimony. So what does that mean? Rashi, avodas kochavim tavu v'tayir al ovdei lechayavam. So all of the avoda zaras, these motherfuckers, these losers, these shibuds, right? They think that they're like, oh, we're worshiping Satan through this avoda zara, through that avoda zara. In the end of days, all of these things that they thought were gods equal to the Eibishter are going to be like, yo, so this guy did this, and that. This guy worshiped me like this. This guy raped a little kid, slit his throat, drank his blood, like right on top of me before he took a dump on my face. And all of the avodah zaras they're just agents of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's the ultimate like they're gonna be like, what? Like these people that they're worshiping in the end of days, in the end of the day are really just like they're gonna be like, yo, God, so this guy did this guy did that, and they're gonna give testimony, right? And so
their own deities are gonna slug them.
Exactly, they're gonna be hanged by their own gallows. Wow. And they're gonna be caught. Bilam Gates is gonna be caught by his own web, World Wide Web. Here comes the spider.
Crazy.
You know. So this is like the beginning of maseches Avoda Zara. Tomorrow we're gonna go on and we're gonna see what is this Eidos La'asud Lavo? What exactly is going to happen, right? And what's it gonna be like? Okay, and we're gonna learn more about the Shibud and about Avoda Zara. This year, I know it's not the Georgia Guidestones, but I wanted to make sure I had service for like the first year, just to like get it started. So it's cool. It's like Ottoman Empire type room. You can see, you can see some Romania from the window. You know, very ancient buildings. The buildings are unbelievable here. So we're bliving on the mud flood sugya, but you know, I see an old building. But really, the craziest things you see these ancient buildings, and then like someone put like 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago, someone put some like neon monstrosity on top of the buildings. You have these like ancient palace, and then you have like on top of it, it says like I don't know, like some things. I don't know. In my Instagram stories, there are pictures. We made the deal. You know, I just thought like for sure, we'll make the deal again. That like we're bliving on the sugya of the like when these buildings were built. You know, some people will say they're built way before they'll even tell us, because like it like slugs their narrative a little bit. Okay, Zoom user gone, but we're glad that we had him for a little bit. All right, Shkoyach Schlegs. Shteigin there, season 3 or 4 or 5, you don't know.